Alright, it's about to be vacation time for me, so won't be making that much music. Might be messing around with Beatmaker 3, but I'm probably gonna enjoy myself most of all because it's been a long summer, and even before the summer, fall was kind of weird, so time for vacation. And here's one last hurrah. Gonna make one last jam. I'm gonna lift a drum beat. It's a pretty popular drum beat, like it was all over the place during the 90s. A lot of people use this. I was listening to a Freddie Gibbs and Madlib track the other day and they used a version of it, so it got me kind of inspired. I'm gonna mess around with it right now and play some bass. Yep, play some bass, play a little bit of guitar with it. Yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so I got my favorite dynamic duo right now, and I'm gonna do it a little bit differently than I did it the last time. So the Tascam Model 12, I'm only gonna be using it as a mixer, and right now I got my bass plugged into it. I've got about 3 decibels of gain added to the 80 hertz bass frequency. I've got the compressor. I've got it at about 2 o'clock, and that's it. Everything else is flat. But right now I'm gonna be doing drums. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm experiencing the same glitch that I experienced a couple tracks ago. So anybody who watched like 2 or 3 tracks ago will remember that I had an issue where my memory card was popping up, but none of my samples were showing. So like the folders were there, but the actual samples weren't. And then it magically, that glitch didn't happen. So I was able to use my Lindrum samples in the last MPC One jam that I made. However, right now, nothing is showing up, right? So the folders are showing up. I wanted to use the Wave Bakery acoustic drum kit samples. The folder would show up, the subfolders for kicks, snares, cymbals, etc. would all show up, and then there'd be nothing inside of them. So I cycled off the MPC One Plus, turned it back on, still couldn't get it. And so unfortunately, I'm having to use this 80s kit F9 from the MPC One. It's not bad, it's just processed more than I'd like it to be and not processed the way that I would. But I guess I'll make do with it. So yeah, let's just get into it. I'm at 120 BPM because why not? I'm gonna turn this into an 8-bar loop from a 2, and I'm gonna do a simple let's get it started. Here we go. I'm gonna name the track Drums first, actually. Cool. Drums. Record. Actually, I think that's a 4-bar loop. Yeah, that's a 4-bar loop. So let's just go back to 4. Let's see if I even want to keep this though. Nah, I can do better. I can do better. Go back to a 4-bar loop. And I'm happy with that. So do, but I gotta go into the pad mix here because the kick and snare are so loud, it's overpowering everything else. All right, that'll work. All right, let's get out the bass. That's good. All right, let's run it. That's the bass line. Simple. Kind of got some weird guitar figured out. So guitar's in through the Tascam Model 12, and I've got the bass frequency, which is 80 hertz, cut by about 2 decibels, and I've got the treble, which is 10K, boosted by about the same amount, and the compressor is about 2.5 right now. Had to turn the gain up, and I've got the low cut engaged on this. No effects or anything like that though. Let's try it. That's cool for the first guitar. Let's figure out another one. Super compressed when it comes to the... Okay, now I'm below noon on the compressor, so I'm gonna create another guitar track, guitar 2, whatever. Guitar 2. Now I've got to change the input to input 1 and switch it to auto monitoring. Still pretty compressed, so I'm going to turn the volume on my bridge pickup down to like 8.5. And that's really honky, so I'm actually going to cut some of the mids. I think I got a usable sound. Now I have to figure out what the hell to play. Guess I need a guitar 3. Something on the lower end of the spectrum. So it'll probably be really simple. Guitar number 3, do it. Do the bridge. I guess. No, I already did the neck, so I'll do the bridge. And let's change it to output 1. Auto monitoring. This one more. Yep, that'll work. Yeah. Gotta do it again, I messed up. So there's really only one thing left to do now, and that's to try and change these sounds. So I'm gonna start with the last guitar, which was add some effects. Cool. That's good for this one. I'll turn it down just a little bit. Okay, let's do the first guitar now. Now this one needs some kind of amp sim, just like the first one. I don't know if I'm gonna do flavor. Let's add tube drive first. Okay, we got the tube drive on it. That's kind of cool. Let's add an amp sim now. This one's gonna get the fastest of all the auto wahs. Actually, no auto wah. Yep, I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's do the bass. It's nicely compressed, so what if I wanted to add some fuzz to the bass? Let's see. Now let's do an amp sim. Yeah, we want the 15. Let's adjust these volumes. I think it's a pretty loud one, but let's check it out. Okay, let's try something a little bit different. I got track view open and I've got everything muted right now except for the drums. So I'm just gonna start it and kind of play through this kind of like you would for a DJ set. So here we go. That's that. That's something. Honestly, don't know what I was doing, but my mind is already almost on vacation. It was fun though. It was a little bit different. Good to use the Model 12 again because I had it up in the garage and the garage is a little dusty, so it's not always fun to make music in there. But I brought it back down, figured I'd go again and try it a different way because I'd only used it as an interface before, and it's nice to use it as a mixer. One thing that I'll say is that when I plug into the Model 12, I use this Y cable, and I usually use this to come out of the Model 12, so out with these female XLRs into a male 1/4-inch cable, and then I use this to go into whatever speaker typically, but instead I went into the left, which is the mono input of the MPC One Plus. And at first, you know, I had right and left plugged in, and I had to take the right out before the MPC One would actually register the signal from this, and it was driving me nuts at first because I had no idea that it would operate that way. So there's another little thing for you to be wary of if you're like copying my setup or anything like that. And then the other thing is the weird glitch that the MPC One Plus has been having reading my memory card. Now, these are just SanDisk Extreme cards or whatever. And yeah, I'm not exactly sure why I'm having this glitch where I thought the memory card had failed me, if you remember from the video where I was having the issue the first time. And then the next time I used the MPC One Plus, all my samples showed up in the card. And then here we are today, didn't show up. So I power cycled the thing, and when it came back on, my samples still wouldn't show, and I had to use that, that default kit that comes with the MPC One, which isn't so bad, but it has a loud maximizer on it. So it was just overpowering the crap out of everything. And yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Thankfully, I'm at least smart enough to back up my samples somewhere else. So I have other memory cards. I guess I can stop using this one and load those samples onto another memory card, and that way if the same issue persists, I'll know that it's the MPC One Plus. But that's about it. Thank you, anybody who watches this, thank you in advance. Probably be the last thing that I make for a couple weeks because I'm gonna be on vacation. But yeah, I had fun. A little bit of issues. Good to use the Model 12 again. This thing is awesome. It's relatively compact. If you're looking for a mixer and you don't care too much about analog, this is one that I would recommend. I'm gonna get around to using it with the iPad Pro and Beatmaker 3 as well. Somebody in the comments made a pretty good comment saying that Beatmaker 3 is great, but it hasn't had an upgrade in a while. And yeah, it's been years since they've upgraded Beatmaker 3. And I've been burnt with apps before. Like I started mastering with a program called Final Touch, and I believe it was by Positive Grid. And one day, Final Touch just wouldn't open. And I went to their website and I found out that they'd stopped supporting the app. So here, this app that I'd paid for, that I'd invested time into learning to use, was no longer supported because basically the company that sold the app decided they didn't want to support it anymore. So my money was down the drain, and it wasn't too much money, but the real blow is the time that you invest to learn a piece of software. So for some company like Positive Grid to just all of a sudden decide they don't want to support it anymore, and then when I update my iPad Pro for that software not to work anymore, that's pretty crummy. And you know, when you purchase something, you kind of have an agreement with the people purchasing it that they're going to at least do the bare minimum so that you can continue to use the program. So I still recommend Beatmaker 3, but in light of that comment, it's kind of sketchy, because if they haven't updated it in a long time, who's to say they're going to keep it up to date with the new versions of the iOS software? And so you could invest into Beatmaker 3, you could invest in sample packs to use with Beatmaker 3, you could invest in other things like you know, my favorite suite of plugins that I showed, Mixbox. And then all of a sudden one day you update your iPad and you find out that Beatmaker 3 doesn't work anymore because Intua has decided not to support it and keep supplying upgrades so that it works with the new versions of the software. So that's a little scary. And that's one instance where the MPC One Plus definitely has it beat, because no matter what happens, if you choose to never update your MPC One Plus again, it's going to work barring some type of hardware failure. And you know, might have glitches here or there, but you're still gonna have the physical hardware that you purchased to be able to make music on it. So even though the workflow of Beatmaker 3 is a little easier, I still recommend the MPC One Plus just because of that. Thank you for watching. See you guys in a little bit.